Hi, it's Joanna with my Goldendoodle diary. In this video, I'll be talking about 7 traits of the typical Goldendoodle personality, but also ways in which my Goldendoodle Sophie is not so typical. Now I know that many of you are here because you're researching the Goldendoodle breed to see if it's right for you. And obviously you want to know if the personality is a good match for you and your family. What I have to say is that I can sketch a very broad picture of what Goldendoodles are like. But ultimately, from meeting a lot of different Goldendoodles and from what I've heard from their owners, there is as much variance in the personalities as there is variance in the way they look. And there are big variances to the way they look. I'm talking coat type, body shape, color, size, etc. I made a whole other video about that which you may want to check out later. As for the personality, I must say I struggled with what to put into this video to paint an accurate picture. I know several Goldendoodles and wondered if I should be describing Sophie or Chappie or Pocky or Asha or Leo. Because when I describe one of them in detail, then it's not an accurate description of the other dogs. But there are a few commonalities I did come up with which I think apply to all Goldendoodles. Though to be honest, the first 3 are so broad that I feel as if I may as well be describing most dogs in general. Having said that, here are some of the personality traits I found to be common in all Goldendoodles. First of all, they are without doubt an intelligent breed. By that I mean they maintain eye contact, they're really quite present and have a good understanding about what's going on around them and what's happening with us in the human world. Secondly, they are just funny. They love hamming it up and injecting humour to whatever's happening around them. I keep coming back to the word quirky because there's usually some odd but totally charming thing they like to do, which makes them endlessly entertaining. And thirdly, that intelligence coupled with the humour and their scruffy kid hair gives Goldendoodles a human-like quality that people can't get enough of. What I'll also add here is that they can really play that cuteness card and will get admired even if for one reason or another their behaviour is a bit off. For instance, sometimes Sophie gets approached too quickly and excitedly by people. She gets overexcited and startled and barks at them, and they actually don't get to pat her as intended. But even when that happens, most people don't get put off and stay on and admire her cuteness and ask questions about her regardless. Put another way, if Sophie were a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd barking like that, I'm pretty sure that people would have quickly moved along. What this illustrates is that people sometimes see what they want to see in Goldendoodles rather than necessarily what's happening with the individual dog before them. So from this point onwards, the remaining personality traits I'm listing are usually typical of Goldendoodles, but not necessarily so. And you may be surprised to know that a lot of them don't fully apply to my Sophie, which is why I called this video my not so typical Goldendoodle. No love lost for Sophie, clearly. I'm just keeping it real. So the 4th personality trait is that Goldendoodles tend to be great family dogs and great with kids. You can find endless examples of kids and Goldendoodles being absolute besties and playing as though they actually are siblings. But in the case of Sophie, I honestly don't think she'd be ideally matched to a household with young kids. Because when I observe her with children, there are moments when she gets hyper excited and a bit clumsy, and she can knock a small child over. She doesn't seem to have the kind of sensitivity that many other Goldendoodles have. And also, when I've seen her play with kids, she's fine for a short while and then gets overwhelmed and wants to get away from them and hide. Everything about her body language says, "I'm finished now, please leave me alone. There's a good chance that the Goldendoodle you know is probably different from Sophie, but this is the truth of what she's like. I've also spent some time with Pocky, the black F1B Goldendoodle, who, unlike many Goldendoodles, is outright frightened of children and timid around strangers in general. Kids often approach him because he's cute and big and fluffy, and I've seen him literally cower away from kids. And that's just how this individual dog reacts. Of course, other Goldendoodles cannot get enough of kids, are super gentle with them, and are super obedient, which is also the truth. Number 5, yes, Goldendoodles tend to be easy to train, especially if there's an enticing food reward for them. Sophie learnt her commands very easily and was top of her class in puppy school. But a side note about trainability, Sophie is definitely an intelligent dog and learns fast. She fully understands what is expected of her, but she also has a stubborn streak and about 20% of the time decides she doesn't feel like following a command right now. This young lady has attitude and will let me know when she doesn't want to be bothered. The sixth thing I noticed about Goldendoodles is they have a super high, what I call, social drive. You may have a tasty treat lined up and call them to you in your most excitable voice, but if there are fun friends at the dog park to play with, the drive to go play trumps all the other training you've done with them, especially if you have a Goldendoodle that's young and going through their adolescent phase. That definitely applied to Sophie, and recall at the dog park was always her weakest point. I know that I'm veering off a little bit here from the subject of personality to the subject of training, but in reality the two are closely linked. And no matter what, every single Goldendoodle will require training. But you could have one single owner with 2 Goldendoodles, just like Megan, who owns Dorothy and Georgia. Dorothy is the lighter coloured one, Georgia's the darker one. From the outside, they look almost identical. Their owner trained them both the same way, but as Megan says, temperamentally they are complete opposites. Dorothy is outgoing, sassy, chatty and protective, a lot like my Sophie actually, and Georgia is shy, timid and obeys every single thing Megan says. Then I read an online post from a Goldendoodle owner. She wrote something to this effect. I've been seeing you guys post about all kinds of challenges you're having with your Goldendoodle puppies, and I thought, hey guys, what are you on about? This breed is easy. Our boy has been nothing but perfect right from the start and he's now 1 year old. And then she continues with a post. So then we decided to get a second Goldendoodle to keep him company, and oh my lordy, boy, we landed with a completely different dog. From chewing up the furniture, to having problems with potty training, to being the cutest but naughtiest puppy we've ever owned. Now I get you. We're really amping up the dog training, wish us luck. And the 7th thing to know about most Goldendoodle personalities is that they're confident, loving and friendly. Most are friendly to everyone. Some reserve this part of their personalities to mostly their own family, and others, like Sophie, are quite inconsistent about what dogs and people she wants to meet and her level of excitement with them. I literally have people complimenting me on how polite, gentle and chilled out she is. But then she gets so excited about certain people and dogs she forgets her usual good manners and jumps up on them. And despite her confidence, Sophie does have an underlying anxiety, which we've learnt to manage and which has definitely lessened over time. But as for loving, she gets a full 10 out of 10 for that. I think that is something that she and all Goldendoodles absolutely excel in. So Goldendoodles, they are perfect for lots of people, but definitely not for everybody. Individual dogs are still absolutely unique, and it's good to know that right from the outset, because there's no guarantee you'll get the exact personality of dog that you expect. And if you want to find out more about some of the pros and cons of this breed, take a look at the video on screen now. Thanks for your company today, and see you in the next video. Bye!